Hello, everybody. Fearmy Games with the next part of the Guild Wars Prophecies playthrough. It is time to do our little. Now that we finished the main story, it's time to do a little bit of cleanup in terms of our questings. We saw Villainy of Galath left, and I was looking around. And I noticed some things. We don't have the Temple of Ages on this character, nor do we have Beetleton, both of which have side quests for them. And I've also noticed that we also don't have Granite Citadel, which is somewhere in this region, so it might need a little bit more exploring from Copperhead Mines. We also do not have a little outpost down here, which might have a side quest. I actually didn't look that particular part up. But so it's several locations where we don't have them, and as I said, this is a completionist run of Guild Wars Prophecies, which means we cannot be considered done with the campaign, with the playthrough, until we visited every one of these places and done their side quests. I won't heavily, search areas with that might have a side quest. For example, if there's a random side quest in the swamp area, I might not search for it, at least not immediately. Maybe one day, once I finish with all the campaigns, probably in a few years, at this rate, and maybe we will do something like a completion, something of a, maybe we'll start doing some vanquishing stuff. That'll be a long time yet. Assuming this game's even still around and you guys are still enjoying the show. But yeah, there's lots of content to do in Guild Wars 1. That's one thing I love about it. Honestly, it's something I didn't necessarily appreciate when I was younger. It was just how much content there is in Guild Wars 1. It's just a matter of, looking at it, Let's see. I'm going to interrupt that because I want some energy back. Our group's not going to be as strong as it was at the end of the Abaddon's thingy. One second, I need to adjust my volume. It's not on your end, it's on my end. I decreased the volume because when I'm watching videos and stuff like that, they're really quiet, but when I play games, they're really loud, so let me fix that in. But I think the volume's fine on the recording, but it's just in my ears where it's like, ah. I need to calm it down a little bit. So this is why we're leaving from Sanctum K. Is it is one way to Keswick speak, but also there's a little outpost that we don't have here that we'll definitely want if we continue with playing our character all the way into the Eye of the North and beyond. It'll be very nice to have because the Eye of the North there, honestly, unless I really fall in love with Paragon or Ritualist, I'm leaning towards playing this guy in the Eye of the North campaign, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Jeez. It hurts. I blast the Inferno Imp. Okay. I think, part of me wants to say we can go up here, but also, knowing Guild Wars 1, we might not be able to go up here. Okay, good, we can. I was going to say, it might have needed a more specific route to allow us to go through. This is both a positive and negative. One positive of this build, and also I kind of forgot to go back in for Hell's Precipice between now and last episode. Kind of forgot. I was kind of focused on something else yesterday. These imps still hurt, even if we are higher level now. Thankfully, they're not as scary as the Titan Sparks. Those were terrifying. But we got to make sure our healer doesn't die, though. If our healer dies, we'll be in big trouble. Well, our healer's dead. Thankfully, they got resurrected, so we're good. We're good. Oh wait, we have a res skill still. Never mind. We don't even need to worry about our healer being alive as long as we're alive. We can resurrect everybody else after the battle. That was a lot of them, so that's why it took a little bit of time to kill through them. I think Fisherman Haven's about here, and then we have to just go around this lake, I believe, all the way to Keswick's Peak. Assuming I remember things correctly. There we go. I think Tengu's dead. There we go. If we focus that one down, that makes it a lot easier for us. Perfect. You know, one thing I never considered when I like dropped domination for my skills, I never really considered the simple fact of the matter that like, you know, I wouldn't be able to properly use my weapon. That's why I was basically doing like 1, 2, 3 damage with my wand for the last couple episodes. Wasn't necessarily because it was weak. It was kind of weak, but it was a situation where I did not have, you know, the required domination magic to actually make the scepter work properly. And I actually don't really have it for this chakra, but I don't really know what the requires a domination magic necessarily tiles. I think it's probably getting the halves cast time of spells is probably what it comes from. The bright side has the skill recharge of our illusion magic spells, which is nice, which means they should be coming up faster. Well, 20% chance of that happening, but, you know, still, I think it's a respectable chance. Lots of Koromi Tengu elites here. You know, we don't really have any Tengu... Oh, never mind. I was about to say we don't really have any, but we do. There's a whole settlement of them that's kind of self-isolated. Probably because the arena didn't really want to bother dealing with them, if we're being entirely honest. Let's get a moment for some energy recovery before we go into that big group of bog. You guys are higher level than our henchies are, even if they're higher level than us. Still a problem. I hope you're attacking the same one as me, Buckaroo. Perfect, it's working. Oh, I did not mean to accidentally cast that there. Ah, I was too slow. Oh well, we're fine on the energy department. Oops, excuse me. I still think like we should be smacking people upside the head with this weapon. Look, it has spikes. This is not designed for range cast. This is designed for smacking somebody. Like, come on, look at it. There we go. Die, Tengu elites, die! You guys were a threat to me before. It's no longer. I have the power of conditions. But I do wish one of you guys were spellcast, just that would make it easier for me to regenerate energy off of you. But, you know, first world problems there. I'm using I'm using migraine. Not fever dreams. What happened to my... How long have I been running migraine instead of fever dreams? How long have I been running migraine instead of fever dreams, team? Did I actually run migraine at the end of the campaign and just to give? I need a pause. I need to do some sleuthing real fast. We're back. Okay, so after some sleuthing, I figured it out. So, turns out basically at the end of the episode, I was still running fever dreams. However, what's happening in this episode is that, if you guys remember, panic was on my bar, like took over the bar instead of my fever dreams. So I was like, I'm just gonna slap on fever dreams back on my bar, but I didn't realize that that I actually suddenly selected migraine. So I did have it at the end of the last episode. It was just now I'm running migraine too. So instead, so I guess it means that it's gonna be a little less Condi spread. But it's probably for the best, considering this party doesn't have a lot of Condis to apply. Though, admittedly, it could have been super nice to have in several of these fights. We're entirely honest. You know. There we go. Honestly, lower level areas does reduce the effect, like the power of Mesmer. Mostly due to the fact that, I think... Fisherman's Havens is in this area, I think. It does reduce the effectiveness because the henchmen here do not have as much burnt condition application. You know, Aiden was spamming AoE burning. Sin had a little bit more access to burning skills. and we had an archer who's not here, so we have less people to apply conditions. That's one reason why I think, honestly, it might be better to have migraine instead of fever dreams right now, but I'm still like, oh, I'm running a different build than I expected. I'm curious to see Fisherman Havens. I thought it was over here. Maybe it's actually outside and in this area. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna do a double check just to be sure. I remember going to Fisherman Havens a lot because in the Beyond Crisis campaign stuff, you go to a lot into this area here. So that's what I would use on my ranger to arrive at my destination faster. Yeah, migraine's definitely working out for me. More single target damage kind of thing, but still works out nicely. Less like the only thing I miss is the caster shutdown of having AoE, you know, clumsiness, AoE days. Interrupt that to get full energy. I love Power Drain. Such a nice skill, man. Such a nice skill. But why is it only 19? I thought it was more before. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Maybe it was less, and now it's more. Maybe I'm remembering it as more. As less, I mean, now it's more. You know what I'm saying. So, there actually might, just considering how much I've missed, there might actually be 2 more parts of this campaign instead of just 1. You know, to get everything that I want done. Oh, like, this actually is a side quest here. I didn't know that. There's quests here. I like that. So I missed more than I thought I did. Let's see. There's a merchant here. I'm going to sell all this junk that's filling up my inventory. More than I actually thought when I opened it. I guess I didn't clear my inventory since last week. No, I did not mean to sell that. Oh, well. Spike Crest. Honestly, I should probably just use this for now. Until I remember to get the illusion one. Because it's better energy and everything like that. Look at that. Beautiful energy. I'm going to keep that Vitae room because I might have use of it later. Use for it later. Oops, that was not a salvage kit. I mean, that was not my identification kit. Thankfully, the game is nice enough to tell me stuff. Let's sell. Yes, I want to sell the cane. And let's talk to Watchman Arad. Getting a little bit of lag here. Apparently, this guy will give me some abilities. Blackout and Balthazar's Aura. So, Watchman Arad. I found something. An entry in the scribe's journal notes that the king often visited one of the priestesses in the Temple of Ages. One of the places we're going to, actually. Later, the woman gave birth to a daughter named Salma, who was granted special dispensation from the royal treasury. The king always didn't take good care of his children, legitimate or not. This woman could be exactly who we're looking for. She has ties to the true gods as well as royal blood. I'm certain that the people would follow her if only she would consent to take the throne. You could travel lightly and quickly, Fearmy Games, while I make preparations to mobilize the Line Guard. You could go speak with her. Will you help me once again, my friend? I'll go to the Temple of Ages. If you guys remember, we actually met her at the end of the last episode, too. I don't remember if we've met her before then, but we probably did. But that's good, just like an example of something we missed is basically discovering Princess Salma, who will eventually become, this is not really a spoiler, you know, it's an 8-year-old game, will eventually become Queen Salma, which is why there's a thing called the Salma District in Divinity's Reach. Anyways, Watchman Rat, this is the second quest that he has here. With the true nature of the White Mantle revealed, it is time to restore the royal family right into power. Unfortunately, the royal family was largely destroyed during the Tar invasions, and those who survived fled across the sea. The royals, however, were known for their indiscretions, and it's likely that there are a few with royal blood in their veins who still live in Krypton. I had arranged for papers from the royal scribe to be brought to me, that I might examine them and find a legitimate successor to the throne. The caravan I sent for was plundered by the Tengu in Stingray Strand, and the chest containing the papers was carried off. Will you retrieve the royal scribe's papers for me? Yeah, sure, I'll recover those papers. So it's in the area we're here. What if I swap classes like really fast? That'd be kind of funny. The game's being a little bit laggy for some reason. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to pause the video for a second and restart my game. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's looking better now. I don't know why, but it looked like it was staggered. So maybe it's just this area that was doing it. Because I don't remember seeing it in, like, when we were outside of the area, so... Must be just something right here. Let's leave. What's kind of funny is there's a bit of a continuity thing. I'm pretty sure this one's technically... Oops, the Lost Princess one. Yep, this one is supposed to come after the Royal Papers, but for some reason we have them both at the same time. So we're just going to pretend we don't have this quest and just keep going. Actually, I want Fever Dreams, though. Yeah, I think it has something to do with Fisherman's Haven, because when I look near it, it's a little laggy. It's weird. Like, let's get Fever Dreams. The migraine's all cool and all, but this is my Fever Dreams Necromancer. There we go. That's what I like to see. Just deleting a big group of enemies with 2 buttons and my allies. There we go. I am in love with this skill. I'm super glad I gave Mox the Winning Strike build. I'm thinking I might want to change one of his skills up to maybe have him apply even more conditions. But for now, I like the way it's set up. Because honestly, Winning Strike is a very low cooldown skill that applies applies 2 conditions on its own, and 1 guaranteed, 2 conditionally, which is just fine with me. No, that did not go down the completely right down the right pipe. Not water. Sorry. Ugh. It's what happens when you drink water too greedily. And also, I think probably what happened is I had thought just before, like, while I was drinking, where I was like, I had a thought about saying something, and then probably my throat's like, oh, he's thinking about saying something, quick, open up the speaking valve. And then it's like, no, not right now. That's my pet theory about what just happened. Oh my, I'm gonna die. The Tengu aren't really what's killing us right now. It's those damn it's those blighters. We're gonna do a little bit of kiting backwards to try and survive here. Mox is dead. Alright. Dang it. I'm gonna die. Die, you. Got him. My team did not kite away as much as I did, so that's why they're dead. Me and Littlethorn might be able to beat this guy up together, actually. They're like aggroing and then de-aggroing. It's kind of weird. Yeah, we definitely booped. I definitely shouldn't have let him go into that fight. Oh well. They should patrol away in just a moment. I'm just gonna have him come out here. Apparently they apparently they could one of the conditions on them. They got the deep wound condition just applied to them now. That's what happened there. I think if we get at least our healer alive and to safety, we can definitely take this fight again. Especially when they're... So long as that other group doesn't join him. I at least want Mox, if possible, because Mox is a good boy. Okay, stop the Tengu the Fierce, because he is the range DPS option that they have. Keep him from just killing our cultist boy. It's too slow using my interrupt spell there. There we go. We recovered. We're fine. We just aggroed a bit too big of a group all at once and caused some problems there. Oh, the days killed him there. Perfect. That's what Fever Dreams is such combined with is such a nice shutdown of casters, because that like 3 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but can really be punishing. Honestly, playing this one does make me want to like I'm gonna modify some stuff, because I'm in my Savage Worlds thing I'm making is I make days like last few rounds, but I'm like I think there's a reason why days last for like 3 seconds. So I think I'm gonna make I make days like 3 or 5 rounds. I'm gonna make it last like a round, maybe 2. This days is scary, man. Days is pretty scary for casters. There's no cart, and we're near the objective that we seek. I think once we kill it, we can just map travel back. And dead. So we've got some take of the lead. You know, I don't need to cast Fever Dreams. I just like to cast Fever Dreams. Damn cripple. Slowing down my boys. And you're running away from the melee boys who will save you. Orion, you're not helping yourself by doing that, you know. Mox? Mox? What are you doing? The real threat's over here, boy. Thank you. There we go. Got some energy back from him, and now I'm going to start casting spells at this guy. Oh, now he's dead. I'm going to cast... Never mind, he's dead. Never mind for casting Arcane Conundrum. I was going to cast it on to try and make it so it's hard for him to cast Horizon of Healing. Are you going to res Orion for me? Thank you. Her res, while it takes a while and is touch, will at least bring him back healthy, like, with more energy and stuff like that than mine. Well, mine brings him back with 0 energy, so hers is... It is stronger, but honestly worse for AI, because the AI, honestly, is like, he's not within touch range, can I really res him? That's basically what the AI is like. I'll put some Arcane Conundrum on him. Interrupt that for some energy regeneration, and boom, they're all dead. I'm getting better at using Arcane Conundrum now, I think. We got the Royal Scribe Papers, which means we should be fine to just bring them back to Fishman's Haven, to Watchman Rad. Mantra of Earth, whenever you take earth damage, the damage reduced by 40% and I gain 2 energy. That's pretty nice. Honestly, I have a lot of monk skills now on this character because of the fact that I've been running secondary progression monk, even though I'm planning on never using them. It just happens that way. Like, I didn't buy any of these skills, I just got them as part of side quests. Yeah, I think it's just this area. And just when I look out this way is when I'm getting weird glitchiness. Because I don't think I've encountered it anywhere else. Well, let's leave here before this glitchiness is, you know, infectious. Maybe it'll attack us elsewhere. Yeah, it's like just in this particular area, because I didn't feel it against the Tengu. It was completely gone by then. It's just right here. It's weird. No. Just none of that now. And you're dead. Alright, let's get yeah, now see, now that we're at right here, we get just right here and suddenly it stops getting all glitchy. That's weird. Like, I don't think that happened before. I think it's a new phenomena. Look, Illusion Mask Magic +2, but we're not going to use that. Let's just salvage it. Oh, those are some big numbers right there. I liked seeing that. That's why I love Fertility Fever Dreams. It's beautiful. Time to blow up Zeocot. Another thing that's quite nice is just how much energy I have now. I have 55 energy, which means I can spam my spells a lot more than I otherwise could. It's a thing of beauty. I have armor +5 with health +50. Reduces duration of weakness on you. Weakness isn't all that threatening, I think, to a caster, but it's okay. It's a maxed out, you know, not like Rec 9 thing, so it's good if I want to make my own custom secondary thing. Oh my good, but Jeebus, that's a lot of Tengu. Thank goodness. Thankfully, thank goodness Mox's shadow charges are attacking those guys. And I'm quite happy I got the half cast time proc on clumsiness that allowed me to just spam out 2 of them really fast. And just allowed us to go boom. Alright. So we're basically going to just have to walk through the Tears of the Fallen here to our destination. Apparently there's a Twin Serpent Lake, which leads all the way to the Riverside Province. I kind of want to, like, we're definitely going to eventually, it's not going to be called the Guild Wars Prophecies playthrough when I next do it. It'd probably just be, maybe like a one-off episode here or there, where I'm just going, like, vanquishing. Or it's like basically just, you know, fit to relax. Probably, you know. I'll definitely use this character to vanquish, because it'd be what is, you know, this is his land, his area. He's going to be the one who does it. Definitely love the Putrid Explosions skill, so I'm going to have to put a stop to that. I'm going to die, I think. Before I die, I'm going to cast my combo on you. If only Mox would actually focus you down, that would be helpful. None of that now, bucko. I'm alive. We're good. We're good. Go and die, suckers. I think once we go around this lake, I think it's like, I think the exit portal's like over, just like on the other side of this lake. Maybe, I think that passway. And then go straight into the Talmark Wilderness, where you guys will be visiting quite a lot if you guys are doing in the War of Kryta. They do some Arcane Conundrum real fast to just slow down their ability to cast spells at me. None of that now, good sir. Thank you for just deleting him for me. Future Explosion is actually a pretty big amount of damage. Excuse me. Yes, I think I'm on the right track. I'm just keeping an eye on the map. And then also, if you guys would like to walk to the Maguma jungle instead of doing quests here, I believe the pathway is about here for getting to the Maguma jungle if you guys were walking instead of doing the main story. It's honestly, one thing that's super interesting to me is how, like, ArenaNet knew that most people are just going to do the quest line and just skip by, but they made ways for players to just bypass that whole thing. They like to just walk there if they wanted to, instead of just doing the quests, the stories they wanted it. Which honestly shows a nice amount of flexibility that's, you know, you don't really see too often. Drop that. Prepare to die, bog scale. Never mind, it's already dead. I said that and it's already dead. It just shows how awesome it is to just destroy things with henchmen and heroes. Who needs friends? The bots are my friends now. Now we're now in the Tallmark Wilderness. We haven't been here before. Yeah, Tears of the Fallen is a very small little map. It's designed like a small map designed to connect like 3 different maps. And here's some Shining Blade boyos. This is a Shining Blade outpost. It is kind of interesting how I wonder if they were here before the events of Beyond Kryta, War in Kryta, I mean. So the Beyond series War in Kryta, or if they're just like kind of plopped here for even new players to happen to find and be like, what the heck is going on here? That'd be kind of funny. Alright, we're just gonna need to make our way through here. There's going to be a little. I think there's gonna be like once we get past Shining Blade, I was gonna say there's gonna be some combat. We're gonna go north to the Temple of Ages first. Once we're in the Temple of Ages, we'll then pick up another side quest there, get that out of the way, and then we'll continue on to the villainy of Galroth. Galroth. Bog Scale Ice Tooth. Interrupt that. Interrupt that, and you die. Okay. Just gotta, move through a couple groups to try and get this one focused down. So it's the next target to focus down. Then this one. Gotta make sure I always am, like, calling a target to make sure the AI knows which ones I want them to focus down, and that way they don't just focus on their own targets. Focus fire is key to victory, even in these low-level zones. As we've seen, we can almost wipe. Mostly because our henchmen are still level, level equivalent proper for this area. He's dead. I think we want to go north here. I think we want to go around this way now that I think about it. Yeah, not down. Down doesn't look like it has anything. We just want to go up here. Die, Force Minotaur, die! I think it's around here where we want to go. Well, it's kind of nice being back. You get to hear cry music as you haven't heard for a while. A bit of a nostalgia bit for probably 6-8 months ago of content since we've last been in Kryta. I don't think there's anything left for us to do in old Ascom. I could be wrong. Let's see, maybe left. I think is where we want to go. I'm entirely guessing here. I could very easily be leading us in the wrong direction without realizing it. It's too slow and I interrupt. And dead. So yeah, I wish there was road markers saying this is the way to go. This is the way, I swear. Alright. a little bit like so that way we're not just focusing on the game and all that stuff. A little bit of the Savage World stuff as was going on before is I decided the other day, because in my mind I've been kind of debating with myself. I know one of the pushbacks against the Savage Worlds of Pathfinder stuff that was made by Peg Inc. That is one of the is actually the first one I jumped into and maybe helped me decide that I can make a class game such as Guild Wars 1 and Savage Worlds without too much difficulty. I just had to be careful with it. Make sure it's not too crazy or out there. And but I like one of the pushbacks is like basically some people felt like it was didn't like the class system. They felt it was a great grafted on kind of thing, and others felt like they wanted to make like those of you them who wanted to play the Pathfinder like use this as a fantasy book without having to worry about classes and stuff like that. I had a problem with it, so I'm like, okay, I kind of want to address that with my Guild Wars 1 thing. It looks like I made a slight wrong turn somewhere. Maybe, like, how do I cross the river? I didn't even know there's a river here. Apparently there is, though. Maybe we can go this way. This might be the right way. Basically, but to address it, I decided that I'm going to, like, instead of just, like, leaving as is and they could just choose not to pick a class like they did in, Pathfinder for Savage Worlds, because I'm like, I think my classes are more of a straight upgrade compared to what they're going to be, what they are in Pathfinder, where Pathfinder, I'm like, you could probably not be much worse off playing a class compared to not playing a class and taking Pathfinder as is. They did a good job balancing it. For me, I'm like, instead of weakening the classes, I'm going to instead make classlessness stronger, basically making it so you have to basically making the rules of the settings. You have to pick a class. You have to pick one of the edges. You can either pick a class or you pick the classless edge. And if you pick the classless edge, you're never going to pick a class. You cannot pick a class, or you can't even multi-class. There's no class that you pick. You're classless. And kind of right now, it's current iteration of it. Originally, I was thinking about it along the lines of. It's just a state of being until you pick a class or not. But then I'm like, I'm going to take a hardline stance. I'm going to make it either you pick a class early on, or you're going to be classless. You make the choice of the character creation. The individual players and game masters can discuss. Sure. Like, look at this. We're looking for Salma right now to figure out if we can make her the princess. But now this guy's saying, the Shining Blade have seen a lot of hard times. The Dinravi raid was the worst, but we rallied behind Princess Salma and grew ever stronger. But enough chatter. Let's see what's out there. Lead on, Fearmy. So I'm looking for Salma to make her the leader. But because of how far I am in the story, they already know she's a princess. You talk about how it's like, it was very well orchestrated, they can only save their lives. But classes. Basically, so I had an idea. I'm gonna make class like weaker than if you play, for example, if you want to be martial class, you're gonna be weaker than if you picked a warrior, for example, for melee more because warrior will have a lot of armor piercing things and access to adrenaline mechanic. But I'm gonna make it so classless. Basically, if you choose to take an edge, I'm gonna call it Weapon Master. And basically, you get access to all weapon skills that even warrior doesn't have access to. So basically, they will have a lot more flexibility with weapon skills than warrior does, but warrior will have a lot more mechanics to allow them to maintain energy, because you have the same energy level as a warrior and the same energy regeneration as a warrior, but without the armor piercing value, without the adrenaline mechanic to make up for it. So I think that's kind of like the angle I'm looking for that. Or if you pick an arcane background, you will have less energy regeneration than and energy maximum energy and less energy regeneration than somebody who's playing a caster class such as a necromancer or a monk. But you can pick classes that, like, some of the other classes don't have access to. For example, a monk, you can pick the monk skills on the monk skill list or the necromancer skill list, while monk and necromancer would have to multi-class to do that. And you can even pick some for the elementalist, you know? So there's a lot of things you can kind of pick and choose from. So it's a very, so I think it's nice, so it's kind of a nice flexible thing, and that's what I'm kind of thinking about. You know, if you guys listen to this, have your any own inputs there, you're more than welcome to give some ideas down in the comments below, because I'm, you know, this is mostly coming from my head, and I have one friend who I'm bouncing ideas off of. He played Guild Wars 2, but he's never played Guild Wars 1, but he's been playing Savage Worlds with me, and we've been playing together, so I'm using him kind of as a person to discuss, like as a Savage World, someone's played Savage Worlds and knows a little bit about Guild Wars lore. What do you think about this? Is kind of what I've been using it as. And I have a friend who's played a crazy amount of Guild Wars 1, but has not played any Savage Worlds. So I'm like, what do you think of this from your idea of a warrior? Because also he's a warrior main. He's played other classes, but his main favorite class is warrior. I also have another friend whose main class was elementalist, so I plan to ask them as well. Anyways, let's read this guy's quest real fast. Any fool can see that these unseen gods of the White Mantle are nothing more than a ruse used by the Mantle to usurp power in Kryta. If I can't obtain a copy of their most secret holy tome, the so-called Litanies of the Unseen, then I could prove them false. It is rumored that a powerful White Mantle priest called Abbot Ramoth is journeying through the Black Curtain on a mission of some foul purpose, no doubt. If you could kill Abbot Ramoth and retrieve a copy of the Litanies of the Unseen, I would be very grateful. What do assist means matter? Sure, I'll assist you. Sure, why not? But first, we're gonna talk to this guy over here. Well, actually, it's not a gal, it's a gal, Salma herself. It's hard to know how to direct all the recent troubles. Did you need my help with something? Lost Princess. Yes, I know about my heritage. My father, the king, was always very kind to me. But when the Char attacked, he abandoned my mother and all the people of Kryta in their hour of need. Now you want me to take his place? How can I know if I'll have the strength to lead, or he did not? It's a difficult thing you ask of me, and I am uncertain. Still, if I'm the only hope for the Krytan people, then I must trust in myself. Tell Watchman Arad that I'll meet with him. I will do what must be done. So that's done. I can return to Watchman Arad for my reward there. But first, let's look at some of these statues here. There's the statue of Balthazar. Statue of Balthazar. For weeks did the battle rage on, and those who would take up the mantle of war grew weary, and their courage began to falter. Then did Balthazar, god of war and fire, appear to the soldiers, carrying with him a grand sword that did glow with such brilliance it blinded any who looked upon it. When he spoke, his voice was like thunder, and it shook the ground before us. Then saith he, Lift up thy weapons, for you are my soldiers, and must you be steadfast, strong, and brave of heart. They who neither hesitate nor stumble shall be rewarded. Then shall you have glory, then shall your deeds be remembered for eternity. And then did he release from his sword 100,000 flames, which encircled the soldiers, for this was the fire of courage. And forthwith did they follow the god into battle without fear or hesitation. Thence was the enemy struck down. From the scriptures of Balthazar, 48 BE, which is before Exodus. And by the way, there's people here because this is actually one of the entrances to the underworld, one of the traditional routes of going through the underworld. It's a different underworld than we have in the Tomb of Primeval Kings, or at least it's a different entryway. At least the opening area is different. I don't think they connect, but anyways, Statue of Granth. Came then Desmina, scorned and exiled by her people, and in her misery and wretchedness did Desmina curse the gods for bending all who like her admired power and ambition. And asketh she, Where is the god to whom I may give my undying devotion? Where is the god to whom I may beg revenge against those who scorn me? And then rumbled the earth from far below, and with a terrible groan split open. The ground grew white with frost and ice, and from forth the frozen earth spilled the rotten skeletal minions of Grenth. Appeared then the god with bony, with bony hands outstretched. Welcome the girl into his fold, saith he. I am your god. Follow where I lead. Come whence I call, and the rotted corpse of the dead will be yours to control. and swore allegiance in life and beyond did Desmina thence become the god's first follower. 48 before Exodus. And this is the voice of Grant. Basically, you guys can talk to this guy and pay him 1,000 gold to enter the underworld, or you can use a scroll. I think it's easier just to pay him 1,000 gold. Let's see. So, how long has this episode been? I'm gonna need to double check the time. So I do need to prepare a little bit for my D&D session this night evening. 45 minutes, probably a good time to stop. So we're gonna really fast go over here to Fisherman's Haven, talk to Watchman Arad with the weird laggy area to get our reward. She will take the throne. This is excellent news. I will mobilize the Lion Guard and prepare an escort for her. It will take much work, but Kryta will be reborn. I cannot thank you enough. If only others exhibited the same courage and honor as you, the White Mantle would never have gained control of Kryta. Except Blackout. Not a bad skill, not something I'm going to use though. Balthazar's Ore is also pretty decent. Well, those are his side quests done. We still have the Temple of Aegis side quest to do. It's going to be nice leaving for the Temple of Aegis for the Villainy of Galrat, though. It's fact that we could have 8 henchies, which means we have more access to more stuff. More henchies, more power. Apparently, though, it's 8 people, but only 1 healer. So our healer is definitely going to be hard-pressed to keep everybody alive. So it'll be like, probably we'll take Reyna, and then maybe, I don't know what Dunham has. Maybe we'll take Dunham next time. But we're going to leave off the Savage World tangent another time. We're going to end the episode here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to see more of my content. Press the like button down below. And, feel free to comment again. What did you guys think of the ideas I've talked about? You're welcome to have some input. Once I have, all the mechanics done, and I have it satisfied, maybe do a playtest or 2 of them and make sure everything's nice and, nice and neat. And then once that's all been decided, I will probably then then I might first I'll need a message Guild Wars people. I want to message them first, and then message Pegging to be like, hey, could I release this setting for free for people who want to play it? And basically I'd release the mechanic book, and then eventually I want to turn the Guild Wars story into a plot point campaign. And Savage Tale, even if I can't release it to people, I at least want to play it myself. So I at least write it out for me and for my friends and I, But take care, guys. Have a good day, night, evening, wherever you guys may be. Bye-bye.